were countless heroes on that September morning when the Washington Navy Yard was just thrown into utter chaos.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Mind Over Madness. Say what's going on, everyone. We're starting fresh on a new channel, though, so it is going to take some time, though, to build it up and all of that. And the other host of the channel, Keith, will be with me at any moment now. He had to go and do a little family thing real quick, and he should be with me at any moment now. Let me just check some stuff here with the coloring and stuff, because this is a whole new channel and setting it all up is we're still under construction and stuff, but we just wanted to start keeping the Tuesday lives at least going for the time being, because just to keep our rounds going in, and to because once you don't do podcasts for a little while, you kind of lose the feel. You got to get your rounds in. Just like in sports, or, got to get your fighting rounds in. Anyone see any UFC fans? Khamzat Chimaev, my man, I called it from day one. I remember way back when Bitcoin and all that stuff were coming out with coins and stuff back in, like, what is this, 2021, 2022. And I was telling everyone, I'm like, this guy's going to be champion. And they're like, oh, yeah, wait till he fights top 15. Dude. What he did to DDP, Dricus du Plessis, excuse me. I mean, he manhandled him for 5 rounds. It was the most dominating victory ever in UFC history. And just congratulations to Khamzat Chimaev. I knew the second I saw him on Fight Island, I was like, that's going to be a champion without a doubt. And I don't see anyone beating him for a long, long, long time. So we're definitely in the Chimaev era for the UFC fans out there. But it's weird, though, being, though, on this new channel, though, because I'm used to comments coming in and stuff like that, though. So it's going to take a while building, but that's what sometimes you got to do, start over and starting fresh. But I'm just waiting for Keith. And so bear with. And let me see what we got going on here. Just seeing if I had any type of news or anything like that. Oh, I just want to throw big shout outs, though, to Chris Colombo, Larry Rolla, Angela Pisano. It was a treat going to their homes to film for It Is What It Is, the Buffalino documentary. Last week we went out there and filmed, and it's got some fantastic stuff. We filmed at Joe Colombo's home And what a treat though that was. And beautiful property up there in New York. And I just want to thank Chris again for hosting us. And me and the Buffalinos are going to head up there though for dinner. And Chris is just a great guy. Known him for a little while, and he's one of those guys who can't be bought, and I respect him. Now, you'd think, though, for the first episode of this, though, where's my man Keith? Come on, Keith. Leaving me hanging here. But I don't mind. I don't have anything set up like video-wise, picture-wise, stuff like that and all that. Hold on. Messages coming in. Hold on 1 second. See if he's nearby. And there he is. What's up, my man, Matt Patunas? What's going on? It's different here, though. You know, on this, when you start fresh, you're so used to comments and, and Chris from Roll the Bones. What's going on, my man? We're used to comments flooding in, but when you start a new channel fresh, you know, it's tough starting from the beginning, but definitely worth it. What's up, my man? Great to see you as well, Chris. Thanks for being here, my friend. I was just getting a kick out of, you know, usually you do the intro and you see like the numbers of people adding up and stuff, because that's what I'm used to. And when you start a new channel fresh like this, it's just completely different. Oh, the background for this is just obviously I love Ozzy Osbourne. So for the first episode of this, I just wanted to use the background R.I.P. Ozzy. And Chris, we need to do another Ozfest episode. That was fantastic. And people are still commenting on it and loving it. And whenever you're ready, though, for that, that was fun. We had a nice little talk on just it's just a page that I'm not monetizing on or anything, though, like that. Just a tribute, though, to Ozzy. And it's already got close to 2,000 subscribers, though, which is like crazy, though. But it has nothing to do with me. It's just Ozzy. But it's just Into the Void is the channel. And just keeping the spirit of Ozzy Osbourne always alive. He was my favorite and always will be. So for the first show tonight, that's why I'm going with the R.I.P. Oz in the background, because I do the green screen stuff. Met Ozzy way back. This was in March 22nd, I believe, 2005, and right before he went on Conan O'Brien. And this is what I used to look like back in my 20s. The keyboard with the long black hair. Those are my rocker years growing up and stuff. But I'll probably every episode always say R.I.P. to Ozzy Osbourne. So do it. What's going away Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday, if you're down for it on, because Monday would be like a good live night. And that would be, yeah, because weekends are tough. People are doing stuff, but Monday nights, if you're not busy, man, I'll do it with you on Monday. What is going on, Tatiana Bergstrom? Thank you for being here. It's the first episode on a new channel. I'm waiting for my other host to join me. And so stay tuned. He should be here any second. Name of this channel is Mind Over Madness. And just, I guess I'll just give you a breakdown what this channel is going to be more about, because I used to always just do like mafia and stuff and all that stuff. True crime history and all that. But this channel here is more, you know, you're going to see a lot of first responders on. You're going to see veterans on. You're also going to see mob guys on as well, and mob ladies as well. And just, you know, anyone's welcome, obviously, on. But dealing with me and Keith had our battles with addiction and recovery. So this is a channel, though, where we're just going to be so honest and raw about, you know, life. Some stuff that people usually hold in, we'll end up saying, because people out there are struggling. And that's, mental health awareness, all of that type of stuff is what this channel is about. And when you do the true crime for as long as I was doing it and that crowd and stuff, and after a while it just gets exhausting. And plus already working on a project with the Buffalino family, so I figured to just kick it back. And the old show was the Loomis show, as you know, but now it's just Mind Over Madness, MOM. And Keith will be on Ian Bick soon, and I'm doing a couple podcasts as well, so I'm looking forward to those as well. And hopefully, they can help build up this page and do all that. But there's no ego here, no, nothing like that. We don't care about the numbers. If there's 2 people watching, hey, we still do a show. If there's 1 person watching, we still do a show. These are all serious topics. Glad you're speaking on this, especially mental health. Yeah, and and hearing it though from just my side, from more like, the street side of things, to and Tatiana agrees. Thank you, Tatiana. But Keith coming from the law enforcement. Now, this, you got to understand, if people out there, if they see the replay of this, if they haven't met Keith yet, Keith isn't well, we can't see his face yet, but there he is. Hold on, let me just text him and let him know that his maybe it's coming through now. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I just told him that his camera's off. But coming from the law enforcement angle though, where they weren't able to go and ask for help a while back. And they had to deal with the things they see, a lot of the, killings, a lot of the, the car wrecks they see, all of that stuff. It's they're going into battle every day and not knowing. And Keith's from the DC area, and he was involved with the Navy Yard shooting, first one on the scene. And involved with the tragic Olympic plane crash that happened recently. That's where he works, and here he is right now.
What's up, buddy? Sorry about that. Look at that.
Just look at the hair. You see, what were you flying?
It's been a day, my friend. It's been a day.
Nice, man. I like the background, man. New background.
Yes, put everything up. Try to get everything out of storage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just for me, for the first one though, I just put up the little RIP Ozzy for the first episode of this. After that though, I'll change it up though. But it's odd though, man, here though, because I'm so used to seeing though from the other channel, we got to build up this channel, my man. Yeah. We got some people in here though. We got Roll the Bones, Chris. Appreciate you as always. We got Matt in the house, who's always here, loyal. We got Tatiana. Appreciate you.
Tatiana was my therapist through rehab and stuff, dude. And after, she's awesome as shit.
Oh, really?
She's the one that got to hear all the fun stories in my brain.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So thanks for being here, Tatiana. So she knows then a lot about you.
Yeah, probably too much.
So I was just basically telling him, Keith, and you could give it I gave my explanation what this channel and what we're trying to accomplish and what this show's all about, though. What would you say, this channel in a whole is pretty much about?
I'd say it's pretty open-ended, man. It's kind of, I guess, just whatever's really going on. But the big emphasis on it was after me doing your show, the first time was to kind of build that bridge between cops and everybody else, show them that we're normal people too. So same struggle, same all that other stuff. And then, just whatever topics we come up with, man. A lot of it is to do with, the stigma of men not being able to say that, they're either hurting or something is negatively affected them, man. Get that shit out, man. Because from both of our experiences after we got to know each other, keeping that stuff in it explodes in a negative light. It never comes up positive. So I'm happy to be on here with you, man. I'm looking forward to it, and just having people on that want to get that stuff out. And if, like you said before, if they don't want to do it in a public YouTube setting, we always give our emails out, and
Absolutely.
happy to talk to people about all their stuff and everything. But
sometimes people just need someone to just know that they're out there, and anyone could email us at any time. And the only one, though, I don't think, though, I put actually, bang, email the show right there, mindovermadness, MOM@gmail.com. And also, if anyone wants to be a guest, that would be the email to hit up, and we will respond within 24 hours, and we will definitely book you. But again, if you don't want to be on the show and you just need someone to talk to or whatever, please reach out. This isn't a money-making thing. We're not trying to put people in rehabs for money or anything like that. This is just straight, brutal honesty and letting the things out that a lot of people don't let out, and that gets them in trouble. And give a little background. This is the first episode, Keep Fraud You. Give a little background, though, like how it was for you in the department where, you were struggling and, you couldn't let it out at first. If you want to give a little background, go ahead, man.
It started pretty early. When I started law enforcement in 2002, it started pretty early with someone that I arrested. Had him in custody, was taking him to jail for DUI. Ended up running and jumping in front of an 18-wheeler. And that was probably 3 or 4 months after, I got on the street. So that stuff affected me, and it was from the very beginning. I knew I couldn't go to senior officers and tell them like that bothers me, or I couldn't really sleep last night because I kept thinking about that stuff. So I just shoved it down, like everybody said, man. Stuff in the box to keep moving, and that's what I did. That's what I did for a majority of my career. So I started off the airport. I went to Richmond City PD. Saw the gamut down there with sexual assaults, robberies, homicides, vehicular accidents, all that. Richmond's a little violent city, but got exposed to a lot of that stuff. And drinking in law enforcement is just a thing that everybody did, man. Like I said, we'd have choir practices on almost every night of the week where you get off of work at 11 and you just stay in the parking lot with the rest of your squad and pop up with some beers and just unwind for the evening. But it became a regular practice. Alcohol did. And even in Richmond, when I got off at 7 a.m, we would go to 3rd Street Diner. It was open 24 hours a day. They had drink specials in the mornings for like first responders and the MCV hospital workers. So you'd go in there at 7 and you see nurses and doctors and, cops and firemen, all like it looked like a 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. evening at a restaurant in the morning. And I started going to, I just kept building up those calls that bothered me. A dead child in a car was one that really affected me, where we went up to the car and mom was passed out inside, and it was summertime, and that baby had been in the car for hours, probably. Windows up, car turned off, but the baby was obviously deceased when, we broke the window, or even when we just looked in it. But I remember then, I went home and I didn't want to go to the happy hours anymore. I didn't want to go to the choir practices. I just wanted to go home, and I just got lit by myself, man. Just my wife was a teacher, so she was out of the house, and I would just get shit faced to turn the machine off, turn the brain off, and that just started becoming a bigger thing. But I moved back up to DC in 2008. Wife didn't like Richmond too much, and it was fun and all, but it just wasn't working for the family life. We had just had our first child. And I quickly got on the FBI task force, FBI, JTTF in DC, on the domestic terrorism squad. And that was the best job, man. Went through a couple undercover programs, did some undercover work. But yeah, 2015, ended up responding to the Navy Yard, and that was just, I guess that was the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, man. Aaron Alexis went in there with a shotgun and all 12 people, I would say at least 8 of the 12 people were like point blank to the head with a shotgun, which was something I'd never seen before, that kind of carnage. And it was regular people. It wasn't, gang on gang. It wasn't dope dealers. But I could kind of justify some of those in my brain when I worked them, because it's like, well, you're in a gang, that kind of stuff happens. You're a cop, that stuff happens. You're in the military, that stuff happens. But like the first lady I saw was in a blue dress in her mid to late 50s, just sitting at her desk doing her job. And now she's got half the head. So that one kind of stuck with me. And then shortly after that, I had a pretty severe ruptured discs in my back, and went and got those shots in my back because I didn't want to have surgery. Doctor gave me opiates, brother, and it was game over, man. Loved it.
Don't I know?
Every minute of that stuff.
Don't I know? Yeah.
Turn my brain off. I could sleep like a baby. It actually gave me energy. I was cooking and cleaning and building shit around the house. And
real quick, what happened to me with that, I never told you, is I remember the first time when I took them and, like, let's say watched a movie. I couldn't watch a movie again. I couldn't watch a movie again without them.
Because you just zone. Yes, 100%.
You can't watch a movie again without them. Like you could, but like your mind's like, like, and that goes though with everything. And I'm a musician, so like whenever I'm playing music and I started doing that, if I didn't have that, it'd be like, oh, but then it just eats your soul. But go on.
Yeah, it does, man. It definitely eats your soul. So yeah, I rode that train for a little bit, and it got pretty bad, causing problems at home, all that kind of good stuff. Had 2 kids at this point, and so I tapered off of those, so I wasn't getting them like I was. I would still doctor shop and go to ERs and stuff to get them every once in a while, but I wasn't on them like I was all the time. But when I got out of the pain clinic, my alcohol just went through the roof, man. It was every day. It was to blackout every day. It was starting at 7:00 in the morning, and complete isolation. I didn't do anything with, I still went to work. I still got, good jobs and accolades at work because I was still doing a pretty decent job there. But, when I got home, everything was, it was a burning dumpster fire of my doing, actually. And so, I was overseas, and my daughter, Lebanese. My daughter married a Lebanese guy that has family in Beirut still. So I was over in Europe working, and she said, "Hey, it's a cheap flight to Beirut. Why don't you just take a week off and come party with me?" Because she was like one of my party buddy little sister. She's only 2 years younger than me. I was like, "That's a great idea," and flew out to Beirut, and don't remember any of it, man. I was just completely annihilated the whole time. And that's kind of when everything, like, I tried to quit many a times on my own. I would often look at myself in the mirror, telling myself how disgusted I am because, how weak are you that you can't stop this on your own? And I just couldn't do it. Like I wanted to, I just couldn't stop. So, and saying something at work was not an option. I mean, I had a top secret clearance, TSSCI clearance with a polygraph, man. I'm not about to walk in there and tell them I've got a, substance abuse problem. That's game over.
Your mind, man, must have just been like, because let's be honest, like in my situation, I was afraid to tell, the last time at the time, though, my ex, fiance, like I was afraid to just tell them. Normally, your situation, though, is completely different, though. It's still hard for anyone to ask for help. Yeah. But I mean, like with that whole job, though, of like people are going to look down on me. You might I was shocked to find out that police officers didn't have like, oh, you guys seen something traumatic, so you can't go and talk about that to someone at the precinct. And that shocked me the most, man, when you told me that.
Yeah, we're starting to now. They're getting a lot better with that stuff. A lot better. In fact, I was even at a meeting today with one of the counties, mental health stuff, and they asked me to come talk to some firefighters and stuff. So that's awesome. But Yeah, it was just, I mean, I also think it's, it's one of those stupid male pride things too, man. It's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it as a complete weakness. And, just the way I grew up, um, like you don't admit your weaknesses, man. You battle through them and that's it.
That's it.
So, but so when I got back from that trip, my sister had a conversation with my wife and, basically said, if we don't do something, Keith's going to die. The amount of stuff he put in his body was absolutely insane. So,
Keith, were you just like when you were on the booze a lot too, were you also pilling it up? And
if I had him,
yeah, see, that's the dangerous part right there.
if
Yeah.
I had him, but a lot of times, honestly, Loomis, when I didn't, that's how I kind of hid the alcohol stuff for a long time. Was if I had the pills, I didn't need booze.
Well, see, that's how I was. Like when I
time.
fell in love with the pills, like the booze anymore was just like,
It was a social thing.
yeah, it was. I didn't wake up like I need a drink. I need a drink. For me, when I started the pills, I used to love the Xanax Suboxone mix, and I mixed both of them, which is very dangerous. I don't recommend it for anyone. But I would drink like from morning, noon, and night. But that was just to keep like the pills in me. And then if I didn't have pills, I didn't even want a beer. Like like I just fell in love with that whole opiate warp. Like it makes you feel full feeling,
Yeah,
But all it does is rip your soul to shreds,
Yeah, the nasty part was at the end of my shit. I didn't want to drink either, man. I didn't want to. It was got to the point where I was getting sick and then drinking again. It was 100% to blackout, so I didn't have to feel anything. That my goal was to black out. It wasn't to feel good or have a good time. It was I need to black out for a few hours, so I'm going to keep pounding them until I do.
So it wasn't even like the joy. Like you went in first one, cracked open, and it, like in your mind, you're like, I'm doing this till I'm blacked out.
Yeah, I would open a bottle and like start with 4 or 5 shots, like right off the bat. Wait a few minutes. It was a lot. So my wife,
all that pain, suppressing all that pain that you're not getting out,
And it's funny that we say that, man, because it totally makes it worse. You know what I mean? Like, it totally makes the situation 10 times worse than it ever was before. Because I'm like, I want to drink to blackout so I don't feel the dope sickness. Well, that made it worse. And then I'm going to drink to forget about this, but I might have forgot about it for an hour or so. But then you wake up hungover thinking about it, feeling it was an insane cycle, man.
I remember, Keith, I used to be when I was, I was hooked on, I was doing real bad shit with, fentanyl and all that. And I was petrified to fall asleep. I remember petrified to just fall asleep because you know what's coming when you wake up. And like, just living like every day though, man. And like, it's just, in the beginning, you might take a bike or a perk and you're feeling good and all that. But I mean, just, it's so quick though, man, how people, especially if you don't have a lot of money or whatever. I mean, people are going to go to like, instead of paying so much for oxys or whatever, the people end up going towards like, the dope that's cheaper and they start sniffing it. The next thing you know, you think people out there put needles in their arms want to put needles in their arms? No,
exactly.
They don't.
And like, I'm lucky I didn't get to that point, buddy, but I tell you, I was probably close, man. Like I knew I couldn't do like I knew I couldn't go get like heroin or whatever and do the needle stuff. But I tell you, the brain absolutely wanted me to. That was a tough fight on many occasions. But I knew like if I couldn't cross that, if I had crossed that one particular line, it probably would have been.
That's not a line that it makes me sick to my stomach to this day. But it is what it is. It happened, and I'm not ashamed. You got to, as long as you get through it. That's why people, I think, feel so ashamed and stuff, and they're afraid to like, open up and talk and like. And I know I used to want to punch people in the face at meetings and stuff where like, oh, there's a better life on the other side. But I mean, there really is. Like, there really is. No, I'm not asshole saying that. Ben Affleck says that in an interview I saw him at Howard Stern. I'm like, yeah, it's exactly how I felt. Because I was like, there's no way that these guys these people aren't as bad as me, or, I'm unique and this or that. And it's all a bunch of BS though, man.
I was the opposite. I was the opposite. It wasn't these people weren't as bad as me. It was, I'm not one of these people. You know what I mean? That's how I was trying to, because first, when I was in rehab and going to meetings, I did not enjoy them at all. And I was like, I've got a job. I pay my bills. I don't live under a bridge. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but
I'm not like you. I'm not like you people. And
that's the illusion, though. That's the
it is.
illusion. Yeah.
And then quickly found out that I am absolutely one of those people, and definitely, definitely need to be there. But so my wife had this conversation. My sister had a conversation with my wife, and then the wife just gave me the ultimatum, bro. The go get help, or you're losing your wife and kids. And that was just something I wasn't willing to. I mean, I wanted to get help for so long. I just didn't know how the hell do you say it. You know what I mean? In the position I was in.
That's the thing, though. Your position was a little different. Not a little, a lot.
So she made me do it, man, and it sucked. Like, that phone call was awful. But it started the process, and went to detox, which was crazy because I had to go to New Jersey to get into one right away. I went to detox, and there was like the biggest smack in the face was there because as a kid growing up, I never did drugs, man. I think I smoked weed twice my senior year of high school, and I didn't really like it. So, but I knew I wanted to be a cop, so I never did drugs ever. And then, fast forward to 2018, and I'm in this little room with two big security guys and a nurse bending over and spreading my butt and lifting up my nuts and stuff. And it's like, it really hit me there. It's like, how the fuck did I go from the kid that would not even smoke weed to this position I'm in right now, man? Because it happened like that. And, before all of this, I would have argued, until it happened to me, I would have argued that drug addict, it's a choice, that the drug addicts have a choice to use or not use. But I never had a choice, man. I went to a doctor. I did what the doctor told me to do, and it was game over from there. Like, I didn't choose to go, hey, I'm going to get high because it feels good. It was just,
Well, you went for an injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, you need to take these, and I took those, and it was game over. So it really makes me think, especially now working, like when I come across people that are, in the depths of their addiction, it's like they didn't choose. Like, I don't know how they got here. You know what I mean? It could have been the same exact way I got there, and they just ended up here. So it's giving me a lot of empathy, especially at work, dealing with people. But yeah, so I went to the detox, went to a 30-day rehab, which introduced me to therapy, introduced me to, the 12-step program, stuff like that. And when I got out of there, I was so petrified of using, I actually elected to go to a IOP, like a 12-week IOP, because I still wanted to drink all the time, man.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Tatiana, the awesome therapist that saved my ass. Which is funny because I had the first therapist they gave me there. That was the one, like, I sat down with her twice, and she kind of got up and she was like, yeah, I can't deal with this shit. And she split.
Why is that?
What's that?
Why is that?
She just couldn't. I guess she didn't want to hear about dead babies. And
okay. Gotcha.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. I don't know.
Yeah.
For sure. And then
I thought you were just talking about, like, your addiction and stuff, though. But I mean, I understand, though. That
yeah.
I mean, that's crazy stuff, man.
And then I got Tatiana, man, and me and her, we clicked pretty quick. And she introduced me to EMDR, which I've told you it's amazing. Some people, I guess, don't have good experience or it doesn't work for, but it allowed me to go through not just a few traumas that we went through, but most of them kind of on my own, and just reprocess all of that nonsense and put it back in there so it doesn't take over my brain anymore.
So you got to face that, though, but you got to face that first and go through that. So, I mean, that's, and that takes courage, man, like, to really go dig deep into there to get all that.
Told me, she's going to laugh she told me, she goes, it's okay. She goes, the first time we started, she goes, it's okay if you cry. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking cry. Are you kidding? 3 minutes into it, dude. Wow. It was waterworks, man.
I think I might have to try that sometime.
Yeah, but it worked, bro. It worked for me a lot. Going back to work, they didn't know what to do with me. So I sat at headquarters for, 3-4 weeks. And, I was told that I'm a liability, just shut the fuck up and sit there, all this other stuff. And then my FBI boss, Jen May, she really fought for me. She actually put her career on the line for me. And she got me back
Jen,
there.
right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Jen right there.
We're definitely going to have her on. She's awesome.
Yeah, I love
she
it.
just did the Suffering podcast with me, with Kevin Donaldson.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Suffering podcast, Kevin. See, because with the Aussie thing that I was doing, I changed the thumbnails though. But the Suffering podcast, just typed that in. That was only about 2 weeks ago. So I mean, that episode should still be up fresh. It's easy to find the video section. Plus the interview I did though with Keith on the Loomis show. Even though I don't do the Loomis show anymore, that's this one, Fighting Cries and Demons with Keith Shibley. But I kind of broke it up in 2 parts for this episode. I put a part 1 up that you guys could watch in the video section as well. But she said crying is healing. Absolutely. Caroline Dreyer. You guys are doing such great work with the channel. Yeah, it's the first episode. Thank you, though, Carolyn. Appreciate that. Still under a little bit of construction. It's weird. Leaving though the other channel did, just starting though fresh, but I like it, man. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, it's like, because you're used to seeing, because I had more subscribers from doing it for years on the other channel. So before when you were gone, I'm like, all right, there's only one person here, but it's like, hey, that's how you got to do it, man. You got to start over fresh. And that's what I wanted to do. And once me and you did that episode, I knew immediately, I was like, man, I want to team up, man, with this guy, so.
No, we clicked pretty good, dude. And just doing this show.
Thank you, Carolyn.
So both Loomis and I did Kevin Donaldson's Suffering podcast, and that's how we kind of met, through Kevin. And man, it's just I never thought I'd be a YouTube person, but it's like. It feels good doing it, especially with some of the feedback we're getting. Like you said, I don't care if it's one person or 100 people, and
you heard the beginning of the show,
huh?
You heard the beginning of the show.
I didn't, but I know you pretty well, Loomis.
Yeah, they do. Wow, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. I don't get like, hey, if there's one person there, there's one, no, but we're already in double digits though. So thank you everyone though for watching and hit that subscribe, and feel free to chat it up and ask anything. Kevin is a great connector. Yeah, no, Kevin's great guy, and had a great time on his show. And your and Jen show, that was a 2-parter because, it was like you were sitting next to her when she was like explaining her stuff, and then the next episode came out was more with you, with both. Well, it's still both of you, but no, it was definitely great. And shout out to Kevin Donaldson, absolutely. And now, real quick too, besides a great connector, I got a good friend out there, Bobby Bright. I'm sure he'll see this episode, but like one day, because what's going on with my father and stuff, I couldn't answer a phone call for him. And Kevin's like, and I texted Kevin. I'm like, hey, Kevin, I can't talk right now, but my buddy Bobby's hurting. Could you give him? He's like, yeah, he didn't know Bobby from Adam. He called him right up, talked to him for hours. Bobby wouldn't mind me saying this because Bobby's an open vessel just like us. And, he just needed someone to talk to. And Kevin, immediately called him up, and they still talk to this day. So. Got to give Kevin a lot of respect for that. A lot of people talk like, hey, give me a call. I'll be there. But, he actually did it. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, though, Kevin. But go on, Keith. Wait, here we go. Did you ever think you'd be someone who spoke about this stuff openly?
No, never. I was trying to figure out how to hide it when I went back to work. But, I tell you what, man, it's just that is such a living hell and misery that when I was asked the first time to talk about it, I figured if I can help someone else, I didn't know a way to get out of it, to get out of my situation, until my wife gave me the ultimatum. So I was like, if I can help somebody get out of their situation, if they have a similar situation, get out of it. before they dug themselves up such a big hole, then I need to do it, and then,
Yeah.
once the phone started ringing and then it started ringing and it's like, Jesus Christ, man, I didn't realize, I thought I was special. I thought I was like the only one. I didn't realize how many people were in actually the same situation I was in. So,
That's how it was for
no,
me,
I
man.
didn't expect it, but
Kind of just happened, right? It just like kind of just that's what happened with me too. Like it just happened, and I got invited to do a little news segment with the local news about the Loomis show when it first came out, because the Loomis show originally was supposed to be about just this addiction, and then when I fell off during the pandemic, when I came back, it was a little bit about that, but then I got into because I just saw a lot of lying going on, like on the true crime stuff about certain like stuff and all that. So I started that. I just, I fell into that whole genre, but now I'm back full circle doing what I was doing. And to have you on board though with it is just incredible. So, I mean, I can't thank you enough, brother. And look, you got your sister in the house. Proud to be your sister. Rachel Howard in the house. You got Antonio Lopez the third. Keep up the fire. Moving forward. Got your back, Keith, from the handler with the second best GSP. You know that gentleman?
Yeah, dude. He's a canine partner at work. He's a good dude. One of the good dudes.
What's up, Antonio?
Lopez, you know what I mean?
Thanks for being here too, man. Appreciate you. Anyone watching too, to help this move a little bit though, if you don't mind hitting that like button, share this episode, that'd be great. But go on, Keith. I didn't mean to cut you up. I just wanted to say that.
No.
Same thing for me. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm clean now, so let me go talk about this. It's just, I don't know. And it was also, it's therapeutic in a way, because even though you're talking about it and you're helping yourself too.
Yep.
By talking about it.
It does, man. And it's funny because, a lot of us guys have egos, you know what I mean? And I was talking to I was talking to the chief the other day. And he asked me, he goes, because we've had several people that we've sent to get help and it just hasn't stuck. It doesn't stick with a lot of people, especially the first time. Some people got to go 2, 3, 4, 10 times, whatever. So he asked me, he goes, how are you able to go once and have it stick? I was like, it's all ego, chief. I said, I've talked too much shit to mess up this time. You know what I mean? So every time I go talk to a police department or the FBI Academy or, do a show on here, it's like, I don't want to be the dude that, the next episode is, did you hear what happened to Keith?
Yeah.
So having a bigger ego actually helps me in this situation because I don't want to be the guy that, that commercial, this is your brain on drugs. The guy that did that commercial, and then he relapsed and died of an overdose. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
With the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, that's a long way of saying yes. Every time I talk or do something like this, it helps me a lot more than it helps the people listening usually, for sure.
Yeah. And that's the thing though. And that's what I noticed was in the beginning, I did the meetings and stuff. I mean, because you got to remember, I've been through, and I'm not saying this to be like, oh, look at me, it's terrible, but I've been through easily 20 rehabs. And in 2021, I went through 6 of them alone, and two detoxes. The detox though was actually the last one though when I got good. Listen, I was in rehabs where I had like my own horse, like we were at the tennis court, like whatever. Then I went to like the crummiest one, and that's where I got. It's when you want to get sober too. Like, it's not about and people too, like, I get a kick out of, because I worked for a lot of treatment centers where people though, when they come in off the street, they're shooting puddle water, for dope and stuff, but they want to be treated like kings. Like, what about the bitch about the food? They want the best steak. And they're like, listen, man, you got to humble yourself all the way back down. When I had Brandon Novak on the show from Jackass, he was one of the first guests I had on the Loomis show on YouTube. I did an interview with him in Philly, in Fairmount, and he even said, he's like, it was hard for him coming off of like MTV, being on the Howard Stern show with Bam Margera and all them, and he had to be a dishwasher for like a year, like, to really like humble yourself down. And I think what happens to a lot of people is within addiction is we want that instant gratification, and we're like, oh man, I'm not going to be a dishwasher. I'm not going to work here or this or that, blah, 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 because I don't know, like we think like we're better, but like, no, we're not. We all bleed the same. I think I really believe in like, that whole humble yourself right back though, coming to the beginning. And, because if you're going to get off of shit like that, especially he was going all over the world and like, famous and stuff like that. And you just jump right back into that. That's not good. Like, like you have to have some type of, normalcy, I guess I would say, or like, you can't just get out of rehab and just still be on the top. Like, I'm not saying that, yeah, there's musicians out there, their records are always going to sell the top. What I'm trying to say is you have to humble yourself to be like, I remember I had a buddy, he's not here no longer. I'm not going to say his name. He passed, love him to death. And like, I remember we were in Philly and he didn't want to go and do construction. Like that's what the sober place where they wanted us to, move concrete and all that. And he's used to being like, he was like a fantastic a waiter and like made real good money being a waiter and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is the stuff that you do. When I started clicking to me, I'm like, this is the stuff that you do, that if you don't want to do it, then, that's how I look at it. Do it now. It's not for the rest of your life. And then you don't have to come back and do it again. So let the suffering of that work that you don't like be a little symbol in your mind that like, hey, if you're going to choose that other life, first off, you're lucky that you're even doing construction because you're alive.
Yeah.
So, it's very hard to find gratitude in the beginning. At least for me,
yeah.
It was.
No, it is 100%. Yeah.
In the beginning, I didn't know how to be grateful. I really didn't because I was numb.
I was the same way.
Yeah, my emotions were numb and I just didn't know how to be grateful. And what I put my folks through, what I put everyone through, and then finally it clicked. Like after the first year, it's tough. And I don't like to always say that to scare people. It's just, you got to get used to living normal and stuff and not, with a mind altering substance. And that you're so used to that comfort. What's that saying? You got to get used to living uncomfortable. Some type of like rehab slogan, but whatever. My point being though is all those little slogans though are true at the end of the day. And like you do have to bring yourself down and humble yourself and not think that you're better than this person because you have money or because you have that shit means nothing. I'll tell you one thing. When I was out there suffering, when I had my house, when I was living in a beautiful area, I would have easily traded all of that to have my bank account. I would have traded it to be $25,000 in debt just to feel normal. I would have paid, you know what I mean? And start fresh, like that shit does not matter. And I guarantee you were thinking in your mind at times, oh, I'm with the police. I'm better than this. I don't need it. But, that was probably going through your head at those beginning times.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And
then it was like,
humility's a bitch. Yeah, it is, Tatiana.
I just kept thinking like, how do I get back to, I was trying to go back to like, when I just felt normal, and how do I get back to that space? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because, I think
thank you.
Even though my drinking wasn't like every day, even before the pills, I think it was probably definitely excessive, like on the weekends. And it was just like, how do I get back to the spot where I feel good and I don't want to do any of that stuff? How do you get back to like the kid, like the 12-year-old that was happy as shit and didn't need anything, But like you said, it is a lot of work. And the slogan that, the only thing you have to change is everything is completely true. You have to change absolutely everything and it's going to suck. My first year and a half sucked, dude. I tell the people all the time, I'm like, Pink Cloud never came. It was awful. Like my first year was a nail biter. Year and a half, I started feeling like it turned a little bit because
were you working on yourself hard that first year, truthfully?
Yeah, I was, but
like you were digging deep, writing shit about you the whole nine.
I think the big thing is like especially with having a wife and kids at home, that's a lot of repairing, man. You know what I mean? Like that I was fucked up for so long. It's like,
it's hard enough to repair yourself, though. You got to repair yourself, but then you also have your wife, your kids, all that. You're a provider, all that type of stuff. But
you come out of rehab expecting them to give you a fresh start, and that's not how it works. You know what I mean?
Nope. What's up, Ruby? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I
No,
expect to come out and everybody be like, "Oh, he's better. Let's start completely over." And it's not, man. You definitely got to put in the work. So yeah, I did that. I mean, I put in the work with myself, family. I mean, my wife and I even went to go see Tatiana together for a while to try to get back to a good place. And it just takes a while, man, and it takes work. And I think that's why people fold quickly in here, because like me, they're expecting it to come right after you stop doing the drinking or drugging. And that's not how it works, man. You definitely got to put it in. So.
No, you really, and that's the thing though. Like that, yeah, you have to look at yourself, and you have to really put in the work. I used to always think that in time it'll just like go away and stuff like that, but nah. The main thing though for me too was who you talk to, like your surroundings. Not having negative people always around, not having being willing to listen to people that been through it and this and that. But I remember I still always had that instant gratification though, like where I was like they're all talking about finding God, all that shit. I'm like, well, where the hell is he? I'm not finding him right now. But because that all comes from, same with the drug use. We want that instant gratification. I always say sobriety is the best pill to swallow, but it just takes the longest to kick in. But when it kicks in, it's fantastic because then you're free. And when you can wake up every day, man, and you don't have to worry about, because it's a full-time job. There's a full-time job in its own to keep her just to live normal. I remember when my niece and nephew, I'd come here for the holidays. My niece and nephew would be on their way. I remember I was in a robe and slippers with snow outside, running across Wilkes-Barre Boulevard to get a Suboxone just so I could be able to hang out with them for Christmas. Looking back on this stuff is nuts. I don't mean to get anyone sick, but I mean, you got to show the people the reality. I wanted to get a tattoo, but I'm not. I leave that there as a constant reminder. And my leg was all the way open like that. 3 surgeries in 5 days. They told me on the last surgery, when you wake up, you might not have a leg. And that was scary.
That was your car wreck?
No, that was.
Oh.
Yeah. I got ripped off, punched someone in the face, was pissed off, but I thought maybe because I was sick. I was like, oh, maybe. And I muscle popped it and fucking boom. So I went 5 days later. Listen to this. Not funny, but look, if you can't laugh at stuff, then you'll never get over it. You got to laugh at certain stuff, because I used to be the type when I look back and stuff, that's not saying it's okay to look in the past, but don't stare. But I used to stare and it'd make me cringe and I'd go back and muse. But when I went to the hospital, just 5 days later, my ex-fiance just kept going, you got to go to the hospital. You got to go to the hospital. My leg was blowing up like this. And I made up some bullshit lie that I fell off a roof and the pickers fucking whatever, whatever the fuck I came up with. And so I go to the hospital. I drive there. It literally took me 25 minutes to walk across the street. They come running out of a wheelchair. I thought I was going for antibiotics. Next thing I know, I'm rushed in an ambulance up to another hospital. Then they're like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it. And at the time, I'm like, all right, whatever, do the surgery. I wake up. I peel down to see the stitches and stuff. There's no stitches. The hole's still open. And, that smell. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I did. And so then 5 white coats come in, doctors, and they look right next to me. And this is during COVID. And they're like, listen, we got to do it again. They were showing me, they had a big Kindle tablet. They were showing me how they have to, where it was like this grayish type stuff that they had to clean out. So next day in the afternoon, I go in for my second surgery. I wake up again. I'm still not closed up. They come in a final time and they say, we could try it one last time. And if it doesn't work, we just want to prepare you that you might wake up with the surgery without a leg. And what's scary is, this was all the way up on top here.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even have all the way down to the kneecap. I just would have a stump. So I don't know what it was though, man, but I woke up though the last time and the leg was still there. And I still went right out and used afterwards. That doesn't stop. That doesn't stop. But that doesn't stop you. You hear stories of people overdosing all the time and waking up and still going to use. That's how far gone you go. And I look at stuff like around here now, like my music equipment, my movie equipment for the directing for what I'm doing, all my equipment that I used to because I never stole from anyone. And even my older guitar player would be like, dude, why wouldn't you like fucking steal something, man? He's like, fucking, what are you doing getting rid of your music equipment? I just never stole from people. So I would fucking pawn my stuff. But now, like, it's just the difference. Like, I look around and I'm like, I can't even imagine that now. Like, so, like, you know, I just want people out there who have loved ones who are addicted onto something. That's not though the real them. Like they don't want to be that. Like, you know, and that's I know that's hard for people that didn't live through addiction or never were addicted to stuff to understand. Because a lot of people, you know, could just be like, why don't you just stop? You hear that all the time. But yeah, we want to stop. Believe me, we want to stop. But my last draw was when I went to Needle Park in Philadelphia in Kensington, and I was on the hill there, and I was looking around, and I ended up though, doing what I did. Like right, it's like an open drug market, and I always told myself I would never ever end up there, and I did. And right after that, I came home. I remember I told her, I'm like, I'm going in, and that last time was just a detox, but I knew it was. I'm so grateful I went to Kensington. Looking back on it, because I looked around and scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's where you're going to end up.
Yeah, well, I had a lot of friends that lived there, like in tents and shit for a while, and then the guys roll up with the sample bags, and then you got to. It was fucking nuts, dude, out there. It was. Just thinking about you going back there, and like you know, they have you come in this little corner of these buildings. The guys got the guns right there. They're giving you the bags of fucking dope, fentanyl at the time, and I mean the cops are right there, but they like that though because they wanted it all right there. They don't want it spread out, so they know the drugs are going on there. It's like Skid Row, but Philly, you know what I mean? Kensington and Needle Park.
I've seen videos of Kensington.
Oh, and that's how it is, man. Listen, man, and people are just like, yeah, duh, whatever. But I usually was the type I'd get in there, get the hell out, go back home. But like when you're sick and stuff like that, especially on the way, the ride's forever. It's 2 hours long, but it feels like 24. You get there. And I just remembered, oh man, sitting around on that hill. And I looked around and I'm like, how? And I still, yeah, obviously did what I had. And then the last time though, I was hoping though to die. Remember praying to God to take me. He didn't. And which I don't understand. I don't have kids or anything like that. And people I lost had families and everything. And it's like, why am I still here? I still fight with that. But because I didn't even reproduce. I'm 44 years old, single, no kids. So it's like, why are you sparing me? But I don't know, man. That just scared the shit out of me with Kensington. And because I used to always say I'll never, ever end up in Kensington. And I did. And then after I did all that I had, I went in and 7 days later got out. And that was November 25th, 2021. I'm coming up on 4 years. So
hell yeah, dude.
Which I never thought, you know, I just never thought. And then with the house that I was at and getting everything like out of there and this and that. And then with my father's sickness though, but now I'm grateful though, because now maybe the reason why I am here is because putting them through the fucking hell that I put them through for 25 years. Because before all this, Keith, even in my 20s when I was a musician and I was always out playing shows or just doing whatever back in the day, I would always be cocaine out of my mind, drinking, crashing cars, the whole freaking 9 yards. I mean, look how I used to look. That was me. There's me with Ozzy. But I thought it was cool growing up. Like, oh yeah, rock stars are strung out. So yeah, this and that. No, they ain't cool at all. But I was wild, like even in high school, I was wild from 16 until 40. Like it was just like just nonstop. It was like I got shot out of a cannon, and then finally I landed. In 2021 when I finally got clean. And you look back and it's like, man, but you gotta, you can't let it get to you. I look back and I'm like, oh, that time I wasted. Like, and I accomplished a lot, and I am accomplishing a lot of things now in this short amount of times, but I'm not gonna lie to you. It bothers me that I wasted though my 20s and 30s. It does.
Yeah, it bothers me too, man.
Do you have any regrets? That bullshit when everyone says no, fuck that. Yeah. I have regrets.
Yeah, I mean, me too, especially coming from like my dad's situation. Yeah, I wasted years because they're 2 hours away, and I avoided the shit out of going down there because I didn't want him to see me like that. And yeah, now that he's going through his thing, man, there's a lot of time wasted that for what, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's man, I can't even look. The people that, if they think they can look back on their substance abuse and the fucked up shit they did and not have any kind of remorse or regret or be embarrassed by it, that's crazy to me. Because if I start thinking about half the stuff I did, it's just like you just feel guilty again. It's like it was awful.
It hit me when we took my niece got a full ride to Ithaca. She's great at basketball. And my brother, you know my story. My brother was phenomenal at basketball around here. And, my niece, Mackenzie, it hit me hard 2 years ago when I'm like, oh my God, they're taking her to college. Like, I don't even remember living growing up. Like, it was just yeah, of course I regret that time of not being there with them and stuff like that. And when everyone's like, no, I wouldn't change a thing because I wouldn't be the person I am. Okay, I understand that, but I definitely would change the hurt though that I put on my family, others, like what Tatiana just said, partners feel the pain of addiction too. Oh yeah, it drives them nuts. Absolutely. It's not just us. And you know that. I mean, you had the ultimatum with your wife, either you're going or we're going. And, you went and had to do what you had to do. It's just, I just battle though with, I lost a real lot of friends. And when I say friends, they're like brothers, close knit, like just as close as I am my own brother friends. And, I just battle with why am I still here? Because they had families and all that shit. And it's what the fuck is my purpose? I'm not going to lie. That's, this channel's honest and raw. So, I'm not going to say stuff to sound better or whatever. You're going to get it unfiltered from me, just like you do with Keith. And that, what do you say when I see their kids or something like that? It's just well, there's 44-year-old me, no kids, because with life you're supposed to reproduce this and that, and I'm too old to have kids now. So I'm and I made peace with that. But my point is I do battle with that still of why me. I even got to the point where, not to get too depressive though, with my father's sickness, and he only has about a month and a half left. It's terrible. And I got on my hands and knees and prayed to God to take me instead, so he could at least enjoy his grandchildren and all that stuff. I'm here's a man who worked his ass off, who made an incredible living for himself. He won in life, was a provider, fucking did, over excelled in life, and I see it on his face, how bummed out though he's getting. I'm whispering because, I don't want him to hear, but because I got to put him to bed soon. But I got on my hands and knees and I prayed. And here's the weird thing. I'll tell you, it's not a funny story, but when I got on my hands and knees and prayed to take me instead of him, when we first heard of the diagnosis, all of a sudden I ended up going for a checkup, and they said that they think that they see something on my liver. So I thought that was God answering my prayers. And I remember going for my MRI, and in the back of my mind, I'm going there with my mother up to Danville, which is the main Geisinger hospital up there. In the back of my mind, I'm this might be the trade-off. I'm being honest, I wasn't scared. And I meant it too, man, when I prayed that way. But then it hit me. What happens if I did die? What would happen to him?
Yeah.
He'd fucking lose his mind. You know what I mean? So that's selfishness in a way for me doing that, because how's he gonna, and no parent should have to bury a kid. It's just, I just fight with that shit at times though, man, of I don't have a family. I never had kids and all that. It's, why am I here? And that's not me looking for sympathy. I'm just being honest. I fight with that a lot,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had the similar discussions with the God of my understanding too. It's my dad, dude. He worked his ass off like yours. Retired 4 times, and then within a year of him retiring, this last time, he just went downhill, man. And especially going down there, I spent a week with him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
having to basically care for him like a child is absolutely awful. So
see it like you're
it's
like,
like,
because
I
my
mean, yeah,
father was my
he never
superhero.
done
Yeah.
anything that, I mean, not to the caliber of shit that I was doing, but yeah, man, I think it's just normal to have that kind of those kind of thoughts too. You know,
No, I mean, absolutely, absolutely. But then, though, I look at it though that it was actually Kevin Donaldson. I said to him, I go, I know my life's on hold right now, even though, like, I'm filming this big documentary and that's all going great and all that, and I'm still getting all that out there. But I'm like, my life's on hold. He's like, no, it's not. And like, I meant like on hold because I'm back here at the folks' house helping him and this and that. And he's like, no, you're supposed to be exactly where you're at. Look at all the fucking turmoil that you put on them. And he was right. And so those prayers that I did ask from God to take me, like I'm happy that he didn't, because that, okay, yeah, maybe he'd live for his grandchildren, but then me and him are best friends. He fucking loves me to death, and me and him been best friends since whatever. It would have destroyed him. So that was my own selfishness, like take me, spare, but that's just like where my mind is, because I guess society just makes us that way. You have to have a family, you have to have kids, you have to have this and that. And I was never bad at relationships. Any one of my exes would even say, no, he was great, but it was just the addiction. You know what I mean? Like it was just always the addiction.
yeah, I had similar during active addiction when I couldn't stop. It was
real quick. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. Go ahead.
During my addiction, it was like, all right, the wife and kids don't deserve this. I was too chicken to take myself out. You know what I mean? But I would do insanely crazy things at work, kind of hoping it would happen. Because if it happened at work, then they get all the financials, man. They get their houses paid off, and college paid off, and all the life insurance, all that stuff that pays
out. Were you thinking of the trauma though that would have done to your children?
I wasn't.
Exactly.
I was at the point where mentally the point where they would be better off. But looking at it now, it's like, dude, like what? It's the disease talking to you, man. So they 100% wouldn't be better off if that happened. And then, like you, it's like I'm able to be there for my mom and dad as much as I can with them living 2.5 hours away. And I just talked to my brother last night, and I was like, "What do y'all need?" He goes, "If you could take a few days off and come down here." I was like, just let me know when, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's if I was who I was 7 years ago, they would never ask me to come take care of my mom and dad. But yeah, man, I think all those thoughts are pretty normal for people that were in our situations.
And you just said something that I just didn't even realize. I would be the last person though that they would want though to take care of. But now, like I am though, like the main one though that they count on. So that feels good though. Yeah. And then but I fight though with the whole fact, because I always worked and I always made money and always, that's just what I did. And I never lived here and always, had my own places and stuff, and lived in Philly, Florida, fucking all around. But my point being is, I just what my uncle though told me, he's like, listen, you're gonna look back at this time though and be proud and stuff. It's not all about just working, making money. You can make money, whatever. Yeah, you get one father, he loves you to death. You love him. You're gonna always look back at the fact that you were there for him, and it's gonna be, better than worrying about, I'm not fucking making money right now because I can't be away from this house for 8 hours or 12 hours or whatever. You know what I mean? Like for the time being, and it's temporary, and which I wish it wasn't, but it is. But
so I mean,
as a man, though, I battle with that. I battle with that as a man. You know what I'm saying? Though, that's the ego thing. Like money. I'm used. I'd like to have money, but and listen, I'm not afraid to say this. Like my family is very well off. I will not ever take a cent from them, even if it was offered. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm 44 years old. I'm not taking a fucking cent off you. And there was even a time though, where my cousin was like, well, dude, they know that you can't work. Cause I tried working a job and on the second day, like, he fell. They're like, we need you here, come back, blah, blah, blah. Left that job, but it doesn't matter. I get to that pride thing. I will not take a fucking cent from them. There's no way. I even told you, like, even with the because he always says to me, I left stocks for you and you're set for life and this or that. I'm like, I don't even want it. I'll give it to charity. But then you said something to me like, nah, I forget if it was either you or Kevin.
Yeah, it was like, me. I remember. It's
yeah.
No, I mean,
I don't even want the money.
I know you don't want it, but two things. The biggest thing for a father to have accomplished in their life is providing for their family. And if a father can, on his last, if a father can leave their kids this whatever, it's not taking it because you want it. It's you taking it because he wanted you to have it, and he worked his ass off for that. So, in my opinion, this might, we're going to be honest with each other whether we agree or not, Loomis.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
To give that away is to give away something your father wanted you to have. If your father didn't want you to have it, he wouldn't have left it for you. And he worked his ass off for you to have it and your brother to have it or whoever. So, and for him to, eventually, hope it's longer than you say, but for him to eventually pass on and know that he left you that shit is what your father worked his ass off for. So it's not taking it because you want it or because you need, it's taking it because he wanted you to have it, man.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I mean, I obviously rather him here way more than any fucking dollar amount that ever. But yeah, no, that makes sense. And I remember when you said that, it's more though, like, me just like, I don't know, like I want to make my own fucking way. I ruined if I even have another half a life, I'm 44. But I'm saying I ruined my life. And I want to make my own fucking way. I don't want to make it fucking through him, you know what I mean? And it's just that whole thing. Like, and I'm the type of person too, like I just like, even when I have like people tell you when I go to bar, I just give it away. Like I was never a guy like money. And you're the same way, like with public speaking and stuff. I know you are. Like you're not me and Chris Colombo were just talking about this on the phone. Like both of us, like we can't be bought. Like we can't. Like, meaning like, yeah, of course, I'll take some money to do something that's, if I'm using my time or this or that, but like I can't be bought in a way to talk on something that I truly don't believe in for a dollar amount or whatever. Like I just can't be bought. Like and I'll keep my integrity to the day I die. And that's just a fact. I can't be bought. But going back to what you said, you are right, because that leaves him peace of mind. Yeah. And I remember I was in Wegmans, I was grocery shopping, and I remember, because I'm weird. I have a weird photographic memory too. Like whenever I think back, being inside, I can remember what they're wearing. I always remember certain conversations where it's like, where were you when 9/11 happened or this or that, or certain conversations. But that conversation that we had when you said that, like, it made a lot of sense, because I was serious. I was like, Keith, I'm just going to give it away to a charity and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, but what you just said, and it makes a lot of sense.
The other thing is this, bro. As far as like you working and stuff and being there for your dad 24/7, me, my brother, and both of my sisters were all working, and now we were trying to figure out how to accommodate taking care of dad with all of us working. So what it's looking like is even if we're hiring people to do it, that's so much money that's going to come out of mom's nest egg, if you will. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for you to be there for your dad and them not having to pay some $20 an hour nurse that really doesn't give a shit to come over every day, it's freaking priceless, dude.
It is too. My mom is 100% Irish to the bone, and she's all like, no old folks homes. No, like we had my grandmother here for 8 years when she had dementia, and she took care of her like till like we take care of our own, and that's just how it is. And the fact that I don't have kids or a family or anything, it's like, all right, well, I wasted I had them worried sick for and smashed up. I don't even know how many fucking vehicles, DUIs, just all crazy shit where they couldn't even sleep at night. They were waiting for the call that I was dead for fucking 25 years. The fact though that I could actually though be here of service though, I am finding no peace in that. You know what I mean?
100%.
And you know, and I like I said, I'm 44, so I basically have a clean slate too. You know what I mean? Meaning that like, you know, 44 is not too old. Like I can still have a life.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm 48, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I got clean at 40, you know, and it is a
me too. Yeah, 40.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know what though? We can't though. Like, yeah, when I want to make sure that I made that statement right before. Do you have any regrets? Blah blah blah. Yeah, of course I regret though that type of stuff and all that though, but I'm not gonna let it though slow me down. When I say regret, like I just mean like, yeah, man, I wish I didn't hurt my family. I wish I didn't know that feeling of that drug that's out there that I fell in love with. And for some reason, I could go to a bar with my brother Kevin. Now he's in charge of the whole entire probation department in this whole county. And so he has like real job, family, and stuff like that. And I'm the only other though sibling. So that's why it was perfect for me though to be able to do this for them. But what I'm just getting at though is I still, even though what you just said, what I'm doing is priceless, it's still like it's that guy thing. I think that pride thing of like I want to be out earning. And even though I'm accomplishing stuff with the documentary and stuff, which is great. And I mean, we just murdered it this past week with, you know, interviews and all that. That's coming to fruition with the Buffalino family. But it's just that, I don't know. I think it's just the way society around here like breeds us though. Like, you know, you have to be working or you're a bum. And that's how I feel. Like I'm a bum, but I'm not because I want to be. I wish I could live my normal life though. But I even told my buddy on the phone today, James, I said, I could have $10 million right now in the bank account. I wouldn't leave here. If I had $10 million, I'm not leaving here until you know what goes down. Like I really wouldn't. Absolutely. I'm with him. I'm with him until his last breath. And that's it. You know? And it's just that, you know, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. I fucked up a lot of my life. And but I'm still here and I am healthy. And which is also a miracle, you know what I mean? Clean bill of health from the doctor, all that type of stuff. And I need to be more grateful for that though, because there's people out there, like I complain about the little shit, like, oh, I got to get new brakes on my car. Well, how about there's someone out in the street that wishes that they had a car so they could get new brakes? You know what I mean? Just like when you break little shit down like that to like, I have it like a lot better though than like, you know, a lot of other people out there. And that's where the gratitude though thing comes into, like where I could still, I need to be grateful that I'm here for him. Who gives a fuck about a job that you could easily get fucking whenever and make more money? What's more important, family or your bank account, you know? Yep. And you know what I mean though, where I'm coming from though, like with 100%. That whole, like, I want to wake up and go to work, man. But like I can't right now.
No, you are waking up and going to work, dude.
Work would be a breeze right now. Are you kidding me?
I told you, I told you, like after spending a week down there, I was like, I don't know how you do this every day, dude. Like it is mentally and physically just draining every day.
Well, I had a conversation with Joe Buffalino today about it, and he even said that he's like, listen, man, just so you know, because like of everything that's been popping off at the documentary, he's like, your family is like first, though, man. And like a lot of other people are like, how are you even doing this right now during this and all that? Yeah. And I'm the type to like, I have to at least be doing something, just like this show, like that me and you are doing, or whether it's this and then, or whether it's having a guest on and editing, whether it's going to film, like I have to at least have a little bit of like, you know, I do get out of the house a little bit. Like I can't stray far. I got to be like, you know, in like a mile radius. But and I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I'm just telling you what I'm battling for. What I feel sorry for is my pop. Like that I'm about to lose him, and like he's my best friend in the world, and I can't even imagine life without him. And it just sucks for me that he. For more of my life, he's seen me fucked up than good. you know, and he told me when I put him to bed the other night, like how proud he is. He goes, listen, he goes, I know, you know, he's talking about my brother. He's like, you know, your brother was a phenomenal athlete, and he's got uh what is it, a great job and all this type of stuff. But he's like, you have fucking balls, man. He's like, you know, like you'll go after something that most people though won't do. Like, you know, a 9 to 5, that type of stuff. Yeah, you know, that's, and I'm not putting anyone down 9 to 5, but that to me though, that's easy though. Try sacrificing and trying to make a project or everyone would be able to do it. I don't even know. I'm just rambling now. I'm just getting upset. My point being though is that I just wish that he's not going to see the documentary, man, and that's what. And me and him drove to see The Irishman, because that didn't come out in theaters. That came out originally, and for anyone who's not watching, I'm very close with the Buffalino family. They're like my second family, and Joe Buffalino's like a second father figure to me, and so me and my father, you know, we always grew up talking about like, you know, Russell, Angelo, the Buffalinos and all that type of stuff. And then we drove to the Irishman and we're sitting there. I remember up in Titanic, I forget the name of the cinema, but they had a special viewing for it. Even though it came out on Netflix, a movie theater did have a viewing for it. And we went up and we watched it together. And, you know, he's talking to me and I'm talking to him, and we had a blast watching it. And then like, fast forward a year later, he even came up to me and he goes, dude, what the fuck is going on? You're in charge of making their documentary. So like, I mean, like, I know he's proud, you know what I mean? I just want to notice, like my dream though was to be able to sit next to him and watch it, you know?
Yeah.
I
understand it, man.
That's just, you know, but, and I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I'm not going to hold back emotions or whatever. Everyone wants to act tough or whatever. We all have emotions. There's nothing wrong with letting them out. I'm sick of them acting like this tough guy bullshit. Fucking, I gotta act tough, and no, it's the same shit that got me into the fucking trouble that always I used to get into, you know, back in the day or whatever. And clowns could, you know, they'll make fun of you and say, oh yeah, this and this. I don't care. This channel here, I'm just being honest, you know, and as honest to the bone. But it's hard for me at times though, man. When we bring that up, you know, so I apologize for getting a little upset there.
I don't have to apologize for shit, dude.
That's like Joe just told me on the phone. He's like, well, maybe he's going to see the trailer because James is starting on the trailer on Monday. So if he could see the trailer, oh, that'd be cool, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, just him knowing that you're doing all this stuff is just him not having to worry about you, dude, is the best gift you could probably give the guy, you know? But yeah, I mean, it does suck because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff, you know, I wish my dad could see too. And he's just, you know, he's not in the right frame to be there, you know, I wish he could just watch an episode of this.
Yeah.
It doesn't compute, man.
If you don't mind me asking though, like when did his like, you know, dementia start to did he see you? Was he get sober and all that?
Yeah. So he started.
Thank you, Matt. Go ahead. Sorry.
He started about a year and a half after I got clean. But I mean, honestly, man, for the past 7 years, it hasn't been to this last year that's just been really, really good shit happening with, you know, starting shit with Kevin and meeting you and starting this stuff and doing all that kind of shit. I wish you could see it, but and maybe next time I go down there, I'll turn it on and hope something sticks. But you know,
yeah, you know, turn it on for no, and you never, you know, exactly though, and you know, to see though what you're doing and talking. I'm sure it's, and you know, with the Buffalinos and all that, like he walks into this room and like as you could see though, like it's all there. And if you look over in that corner right there behind the light, like Russ's plaque from 1966 is up there on top, and he's just like, how the hell did you, like, you know, but in a proud way. So like, I mean, like I know that he's proud, but and the Buffalino family, I mean, they're just fucking fantastic with everything that's going on. Like, you know, you need anything, you know, you need, you know, doctor, you need anything like that, you know, they were there since it happened. And but it's just it's tough, man. It's a hard deal in life, man, that we have to grow up and, watch our folks pass.
Yeah.
But that is the circle of life. Like, they're not supposed to bury us, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've even got to the point where it's, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want to tell him that I have been telling him, but he just looks at you and you don't know if it even registered. You know what I mean? So
Hold on, but she goes, hold on. You're speaking from shame, though. Speak from guilt.
she made a different. That's that therapy shit she talks about. I'm just joking. She made another comment up there about the definitions of difference between shame.
I
and
am
guilt.
speaking from guilt. I feel guilty that I didn't, what do you call it, though, that I wasn't, though, around for, meaning before 4 years. I am speaking from guilt and shame, but, and I talk to a psychiatrist every day, but not every day, sorry, every week. But no, I know she meant well. I just didn't understand, wait, there it is. Guilt, I did something bad. Shame, I am bad. No, I don't agree with that. No disrespect to you, Tatiana, but I don't agree with that at all. Please don't take that to heart. Me and Keith argue at times too. Like we can agree to disagree. Please don't take that to heart. Guilt, I did something bad. Shame, I am bad. No, I know my heart. I'm not bad. I know I'm not bad. And, I want her to explain that, if you don't mind, Tatiana. I'm just, out of curiosity, because she could be right. I want to know what that means.
I think she's saying is she's saying speak from guilt, because that means you did something bad, and if you're speaking about shame, you think you are bad. So yeah, you're speaking on guilt because you're not bad. It's basically what she's saying, I think.
Oh, okay, I got that. All right, misinterpretation there, but I apologize.
I speak Tatiana.
I got it. So I did something bad. Shame, I am bad.
Yeah.
So
it's how you think about yourself.
Yeah, she's not saying like you're a bad person. She's saying like, like that's what you're telling yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
Got it. Tatiana, I always say, even with like relationships, like with, let's say, women or whatever, or anyone, like never argue or anything like that, like through texting or whatever, because it always gets misconstrued and all that type of stuff. So I apologize. I just didn't exactly know where you were coming from though with that. But she obviously meant well, because look what she wrote right after. He will leave this planet knowing you, the true you. You know what I mean? Yep. So she was coming from, and I don't care if people want to come even too from a bad point. People don't have to kiss my ass. They could put me down and say I am bad or whatever. It's fine. I can handle that. But I know in my heart I'm not. And I remember, Keith, when I used to get towards the end of my addiction, it wasn't about getting high. It was about maintaining. And I remember when I'd get just enough of something to feel human, then I'd be like functionable at parties and be like, I remember being like looking at the guy, be like, man, if I just felt like this, like I'm really not a bad person. I'm just addicted to this fucking stuff that has its claws in me, that, it's not as easy as just waking up being like, no, I'm not taking that. You need to look it all up. You need it, like how your body needs food. That's what happens to you. Like you get, it's the flu times fucking whatever the fuck. But
I wish we could find some way to let non-addicts know the absolute fucking war that goes on in your brain.
Yeah, but real quick.
Yeah.
No, please slip into therapist mode. That's fine. You can't sleep. Be you. That I was not putting you down whatsoever. I just, the way it was worded, it looked like bad. Like I was just like, like I'm dead. And the only thing that I'm guilty of is, my past and everything that I've done, though. And I'm guilty of not being present at certain times when I should have been because of my addiction. The shame comes, it's not, what I was just getting upset about was I just wanted my father to see me succeed with this. And especially with this project, because with the Buffalino family and how much that means to even like him, then the fact that like out of everyone around that they picked me. So like, I just wanted him to see that. That's what got me choked up, because I was thinking back when we were watching The Irishman together, and I just wanted to do that with this documentary. That's why I got upset.
Yeah. But Yeah, man. This is a good spot to get all that shit out.
Oh, that's what this channel's about, man. We're not, listen, I think the problem is like people masking stuff, people doing this or that, or, and people who are going to be like, oh, Loomis shed some tears, what a baby, or blah, blah, blah. That's their own insecurity, man. Because I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you something right now. I used to think that the tough guy was the guy that could just knock someone out at the bar. Like, say you're having a conversation with someone, you have a disagreement, you just punch him in the face. That's insecurity. It really, that's not tough guy shit. The true tough guy is the one who could open up and talk about his problems and be reasonable. And, that's because opening up and talking about your problems, I'm sorry, but throwing a right hand's a lot easier than doing that. You know what I mean? So I think the true tough guy is the one that could open up and talk about his problems.
Yeah, 100%, bud. Yeah. And, but I think there's a good time and a place for that. And this is an amazing time and an amazing place on Tuesdays at 7 if you want to get that shit out.
Yeah, no, 100%. Dude, why do our shows always, oh my God, it's an hour and a half already. Like, how do our shows always, because we get into it, man.
Yeah.
And I get that 100%. And getting upset is a good day in therapy. She is right, though. And I don't care what anyone says, though, about the manlyhood or whatever, though. But like, while you're crying and stuff like that, it's like, fuck, like, because you're just, you're so upset about what's happening and stuff. But like afterwards, though, like I used to try to hold that in. Like I remember even before, like walking into certain wakes or whatever, if I felt the emotion come, like, no, you can't cry, you can't. But when you do, and just like, but when you let it though go, I remember I told my buddy this and he laughed at me. He's not here anymore. R.I.P. Matt, right hand, love you. But we were in rehab together. I'm like, dude, man, they need to make a crying room. I had, and in my mind, I was thinking like business. Like this is like years ago, but I'm like, man, we should open up like a crying center, like where people can come in, they can just cry, and the people do that now. Like a buddy of mine, Gary, he's huge on TikTok. He lives in Alaska. They do that, like where they lay down on these mats and they're wearing like blindfolds and like they have and these headphones are on, whatever's playing, but everyone's in there just screaming, crying, which is crazy. But I get it. Like, it really does though, like help because it cleanses you. Like it gets rid of anxiety. It really does. It fucking cleanses you. I can't cry in like command, but
so yeah, it's funny, man, because once Tatiana opened my floodgates of crying, I think what was it? That's probably like 6 months ago. I was at work and I was just watching videos, and it was a video. You seen those videos where like a guy's dog passed away, then their family brings him another puppy? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Dude, it was just back to back to back of those. And I'm sitting there and I'm just sitting there on my phone. I didn't even see the guy come up. And he came up and knocked on my window. He's like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, man." It was just dog videos, man. They'll get me every time.
Oh yeah, and that's I can't even don't get a dog though to this day. Like it's just like it just everything just when it rains it pours. Like there's my Ozzy, that's my dog Ozzy, who passed away in January. Who was my that was my child, and then the real Ozzy behind me, who how I am with him, passes away, and then in the same year, pops is just 2025 is just for me. And the world
is not about ass, bro.
The world's not about me. Like I know that it's not all that didn't happen because of error. No, but I'm just saying it's just, man, like like I mean, listen, people can laugh about the dog thing, man. I don't give a fuck. Dogs aren't dogs to me. They're not pets to me. They're family. And
I tell you what, man, if you come up and smack one of my kids, I will have the same reaction if you come up and smack my dog. The same exact reaction.
Dude, did you see the video I sent you of the guy when he called in the K-9's last duty?
I did. That I can't watch those either.
Did you see his like he was like I was just
those,
like
those and then like the cop videos of like where the cops line up and they're taking the dog in to get put. I was like, oh, I can't watch that shit, man. Can't do it.
It just because I was thinking of you because I seen the K-9 guy, you know what I mean, and that's what you do. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this though because fucking I love dogs and I'm watching this, and I know Keith is a K-9 officer, And then he makes it know that last call, and it just made me think of you. And then it made me think how beautiful it was, because I didn't know this before meeting you about, like, wow, I thought of it. I'm like, man, they have to get attached to these dogs. I hope they get to take them home.
Yeah.
And then,
Very
and you're able to. And
it's different, man, because
but the dog's not dying though, Keith, on those videos. At least though, like he's certain, dude. They're like how they're talking about over to CB, all the drug arrest, all the pounds of whatever fentanyl they found, and this and that. Though that guy, I'm sure, still gets to bring the dog home, right?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
Good.
He does. But yeah, I mean, it's we have pets too, and I love my pets, but when you're at home with a dog all day, and then the dog's in your car all day, you become pretty tight with your dogs.
I mean, especially you're going on a job with him. He's your partner, too. Like, you know what I mean? And like, it's, like that video, I didn't mean to upset you, but I had to send it to you because, I mean, how could I not? You know what I mean? Me and you are partners in crime doing this podcast. And I see that and I'm like, I gotta send this to Keith. And I was upset for like the opposite, but then I was like, well, the dog's not dying. He's just retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this and that. And how do they know, like, when they retire them?
It depends, man. Some of it is medical, like, because they go twice a year to the vet. So a lot of these dogs, they start getting hip issues because they're jumping so much. Even just jumping up in the car all day, every day. So if they start getting like that kind of stuff, or sometimes it's just age, man, because the dog works their ass off. So you want to try to give the dog a good, 2-3 years of retirement. It put in its work. So a lot of times it's age. So like my dog now is 7. And
that one retired at 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
The video one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I probably got 2 years, a good 2 years with him. Sometimes they can go to 10, 11 years, but yeah, it's usually age. Well, you do your evaluations just like anything else. So like if they start slipping on finding stuff or evaluations, or just drive to work as they get older, then you can put them in for retirement.
Nope, absolutely. And I want to thank everyone for watching the first episode of Mind Over Madness. I also want to let everyone know that every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern is when me and Keith will be doing these lives, but we will also be releasing shorts, videos, pre-recorded interviews, the whole 9 yards. Great episode. Keep inspiring with your honesty and authenticity. You both are making a huge impact. Thank you, Carolyn, because you're awesome. Thank you, Tatiana, and apologies again for that little miss. I used to always say to my ex, I'm like, text, get misconstrued at times, so I just didn't understand exactly, but now I know what you meant though. But thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Matt. Yep, you're right. We're the lucky ones that got out. There's people still sick and suffering. And that's the other thing too. I have to realize when I go through that, like, well, there's someone though that's living in Kensington right now that's not going to be alive like tomorrow. Like you gotta find. Last thing I want to say before I go to bed at night, you ever notice how negativity always sticks? You could have 120 positive things going on in your life, but one little negative thing for some reason, it's human nature, I guess. But I just started to realize, and like, listen, man, you have like 120 positives. You have these 2 little negative things that are going on. The 120 just should suffocate them. And I do that every night. And then you just say,
it doesn't. Yeah. I can go down the negativity hole real quick, bro.
Oh, it's so sticky.
Thing, and it's just.
Yeah, it's so freaking sticky. It's so freaking sticky. What's up, Jordan? Got to let it out in a positive way. Amen. Exactly. And in an honest way. You know what I mean? Just there's nothing there's just the honesty, I think, is what is refreshing to people and what helps me. Like when I watch something and I like that, who's the guy? I always forget his name. We both love him. Sean
Ryan.
Yeah. Like, he's just honest. Like you could just tell he just oozes honesty, and like and I just love that. And you're gonna get a lot of flack for that because you're not gonna be Mr. Whatever. Who cares? I'm gonna always just be honest, especially on this channel, and not try to be Mr. Tough Guy and all that stupid Bravo macho bullshit. Like I said before, the true tough guy is the one that could open up, because it's not easy to open up. So that's what I believe. Same with service dogs. I have clients with PTSD who have them. Yeah, man, animals, man, that is one good looking Lebanese man. Skins for life. Holy, is that your boy?
That's I believe that's my cousin Greg. Greg is awesome, dude.
What's up, Greg?
That dude that kid has been through some shit and is rising to the top too, man.
Look up this guy on Instagram called Sick Boy. He lives in West Virginia. He's just, yeah, Sick Boy. He has like a beard, glasses, but he just makes so much sense, like about like generation now and like people with the cameras and stuff. And like he's like, he's like a biker though type guy, but he's from where you're from. And I spoke to him today. He's got a big following. And I spoke to him the other day, like, and sent him over a video just saying like what's up. And I like sent him a video about like this fake, like whatever, like guy. And I'm like, dude, blast this guy. He's like, oh, I'm gonna make this guy famous real quick. But yeah, check out that guy. He lives by you. And he's I'll send him some of his stuff. He's cool though, man. But thanks for being here, Skin for Life. Hey, if everyone out there is watching, you could do us a favor to support the channel. We don't ask for donations or any of that bullshit. All we ask for is if you can hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Help, get the channel growing. The more people that watch, maybe the more people, though, it can help. And stop apologizing, sending hugs. Yeah, you know what, though? Yeah, someone told me today that, too. On the phone, like, stop saying sorry.
Yeah, you know what? I had that discussion with my daughter, man, because she's 15 and she's always, I'm sorry. I was like, fucking stop apologizing, man. I said, You will not be the girl that goes out on a date and apologizes for everything. I was like, just stop. You know what I mean?
Me. It's a deflection of me being embarrassed for getting upset.
Yeah,
and stuff like that's just still in me. Like I still feel like, even though I'm going to be brutally honest, that's my deflection still that I have to work on. Listen, just because, man, we have 4 years or how many years you got? 7, 8?
7.
It doesn't mean that we're perfect. You know what I mean? Like we got still lots of learning to do. And
I'm one bad day away from it, man.
That's definitely a defense mechanism. And that I'm just doing, like, when I get upset, like, I'm sorry. Because I don't want to bring people down and stuff like that. But at the same time, I have to be honest, and I told you that, especially on this channel, because there was times on even the last channel, though, like where I'd be speaking about certain topics where about like Popper, I'd get like, but I would hold it and this and that. But like on this one, we talked about it. We're going to just no filter it and just be honest, man. And love you guys. First episode. Thank you, Matt. Agreed, Matt. 2 great men doing this. Thank you. Addicts love being people pleasers. Yeah. The fuck does that mean? No, I just fucking went up. But he's right. He's totally right, though.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's absolutely right.
That's funny.
But no, thank you, everyone, for watching the first episode of Mind Over Madness, the first live, I should say. Again, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Me and Keith will be here. Again, the ones that came over from the Loomis show, this isn't my show. This isn't just Keith's show. This is both of our shows now. So that's what I love that now anymore. Because when we were doing the Loomis show, I used to hate being like, welcome to the Loomis show. But Keith, so it's just great, though, Keith, to have our own thing going. And we're just going to keep spreading the good word, man, and having some great guests on here.
Yeah,
and,
I'm excited about it, man.
Absolutely. And that'll be just the last thing I just want to do one last time is just, guys, you could email the show at mindovermadnessmom@gmail.com if you're interested in coming on the show. If you're just interested in talking or anything like that, that's the email to get in contact with me and Keith. Whether you want to talk to me, whether you want to talk to Keith, let it know in the email, and we will get back in touch with you easily within that 24-hour time frame, without a doubt. And that is pretty much it. Skins for Life.
Instagram, my friend. We got it's
oh yeah. I should have put that link up, but see, because we got to figure out how we could both get on that. But it's called just Mind Over Madness, right?
It's mind_madness_show.
Got it. So it's mind _ these goddamn laptops. I'm so used to freaking the phone, the tablet. Mind _ madness. What was the last thing?
_show.
Don't show me up to it. I already started it. That's the Instagram, folks. Follow the Instagram there. That's where you'll see a lot of reels and just a lot of little clips that we're going to be putting out as well and stuff. And yeah, that's
no dick pics.
No dick pics, none of that stuff. And that's how we do it. Love you, Keith. Shake and bake. That guy I could already tell is cool as fuck. Mind Over Madness show at Instagram. The Facebook will be up by the week, at the end of the week. And then over the weekend and stuff, we'll get the rest of the stuff. We're going to get the TikTok up too, Keith.
Yeah, man.
Get the TikTok rocking. And then, yeah, that's it. But, well, good first episode, buddy.
Yeah,
I think it set the foundation for what this channel is really about, is just honesty and not afraid though to you know, I grew up like you know, hide your emotions, hide this or that or whatever. Well, I'm gonna do what helps me.
Yeah, how well did that work out for us?
Exactly. And you came from that same exact school background. You know, you can't cry, you can't, you can't be this, you can't be that, you know. If I get sick or something, I'm not going to come out and be like, I'm sick. I don't show weakness like that, but I'm saying we're having real conversations like this. And my best friend,
we're gonna, I mean, for both of us, it's going to be a rough year and a half, you know? So
yeah,
it's going to be some heavy shit coming on this bitch.
Yeah. Unavoidable heavy shit. Yeah. Absolutely. 2025 already is just something else. But you know what? You know, we got to carry on. And then the loved ones that we lose, you know, we don't go back to that old lifestyle. We remember them with honor. Like, you know, like meaning, like if my spouse passes, if I went to go grab a bottle or a pill, that's dishonoring his memory and being so fucking selfish, you know? So exactly. Hey folks, thanks again. Subscribe up, Mind Over Madness, and let your friends know. And we really, really appreciate each and every one of you who came in on the first episode and talked. And anyone out there who just watched and didn't join the chat, thank you. And don't be afraid to come in and talk. Even if you want to talk shit, we're all about it.
Please.
We'll see you there.
Please come talk.
Oh, Keith loves it. Keith loves it. But we will see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. But videos will be dropping in shorts beforehand. And Keith, you have a great night. Everyone else.
Buddy. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yep. Get with your family, my man. I gotta put in the bed. So thank you everyone so much. And we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern.